Okay, everyone, I'm back with part 2 of 5. Um, okay, so like I was saying, I was in the trunk. Like I said, the whole left side of my whole left leg for everything was completely numb from my ankle and my foot being slammed in the trunk so many times. Um, but I would use my right leg to kick. I do believe it was a screwdriver if I remember correctly. Um, and I just started trying to beat out the lock, and screaming and hollering and kicking because, like I said, he was driving around with me in the trunk, actually driving around like it wasn't nothing. Um, I don't know if he got paranoid or what it was, um, that I would get the trunk open, but he finally opened the trunk and put me back in the front seat and started beating the crap out of me some more. Um, when we finally got home, like I said, I don't know how many hours I was beaten for. I just know that I was beaten at his mama's house, then was locked in the trunk, then was taken out the trunk, beaten some more. We got home and there was blood all in my trunk, all in the front of all in the front of my car. I was so lightheaded and dizzy and everything that, like, when I opened the door, I would go in the opposite direction from the trailer. And so he walked around from the driver's side and he was like, if you can't find your way in the house, I'll help you. Grabbed me by the head of my hair, walked up to the hood of my car and slammed me face first into the hood, grabbed me by my hair and dragged me up the steps, took me in the house, beat me some more. I finally escaped, and the store my mother worked at the time was probably about 2 to maybe 5 miles. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, somehow or another, I managed to walk all the way from where I lived at the time to that store. Everyone there knew my mother. I mean, everyone knew me. I used to help my mother out at the store, stocking the coolers and stuff like that, so she could get off, when the store actually closed instead of having to do all that mess. Anyway, that's where I wound up meeting him. Well, the manager opened up, and that's who was there whenever I got there that morning. She knew me. For years, she's known me. That morning, she did not recognize who I was. I went up to her after. She would please call my mom for me. She told me she would be happy to do that if I would just tell her who my mom was and what her phone number was. When I told her who my mom was and who I was, she could not believe what was standing in front of her. She called my mother in hysterics and then hung up and called 911. Anyway, my mother arrived there. My mother didn't even really recognize me. The cops arrived. They didn't even ask if I need to go to the hospital. None of that crap. They just didn't care at all. None. My mother and them wound up getting into an argument because my mother wanted him arrested. And the officers refused to arrest him. Needless to say, the next morning, my car went to the junkyard, and this junkyard do not ask for, IDs or proof of who owned the vehicles. I mean, it's one of those junkyards that you just get rid of stuff that need to be got rid of at. Anyway, he wound up junking my car because the trunk was covered in blood. The front of the car was covered in blood. The hood of the car had blood on it from him smashing my face into it. Mind you, way before he ever smashed my face into the hood of the car, my face was already pouring blood. Like I said, abuse is not funny, you guys. Like, it's not something to joke about. It's not something to pick at people about. Like, there's different kind of abuse. There's physical abuse, there's mental abuse. A lot of us go through mental abuse and we just sit back and think, well, at least they're not beating us. You guys, let me tell you, sometimes that mental abuse can be just as bad as that physical abuse and then broken bones. But my video is getting kind of long. Like I said, in my opinion, that is the worst part of my life as abused woman. Like, my baby died. Like I said, I would like maybe 5.5 months, somewhere around there. I don't really remember how far. I just remember I was far enough along where it was actually a baby and you could tell what it was and like everything. But I mean, we as women and men both, like, we gotta start recognizing the signs. I mean, this man, when I first got with him, I mean, he was so sweet, so nice, so funny. Like, we had so much fun together. I mean, and then all of a sudden, it took probably about 30 days, maybe 60. I know I was already living with him by the time he turned psycho. But let me tell you guys, just, you can try to help your family if you see they're in that type of situation. Sometimes you trying to help them will make a bad situation worse. It will turn their anger against you. So, like, you can't always fault people for how they act or what they do when they're in them type of situations and can't get out of them. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.